Congress ADC and the Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC have confirmed the submission of their presidential tickets to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for nomination portal ahead of the 2027 general elections. The ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi announced that the party had successfully uploaded the names and particulars of its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and vice presidential candidate Rotimi Amechi. In a post on his X handle, Abdullahi described the submission as another milestone in the party's preparations for the 2027 elections. Similarly, the NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi disclosed that he had completed his INEC nomination form, using the occasion to call for greater transparency in the electoral process and a renewed focus on governance. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC), Peter Obi, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to publish the academic credentials submitted by parties of candidates. Obi said publishing the certificate of those seeking elective office would strengthen public confidence in electoral process. The former Anambra State Governor made the call in a statement while reflecting on questions contained in the nomination forms completed by candidates contesting elections in the country. He said a section of the form which asked whether the candidate had ever presented a false certificate to INEC raised broader questions about accountability and transparency in public office. Moving on, the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, CP Olubenga Adepoju, has undertaken an assessment of the location where gunmen killed two officers of the Ali Divisional Police Station in the Kwere local government area. In a statement, the Police Public Relations Officer ASP Blessing Agabe notes that CP Adepoju was accompanied by members of the command's management team. The officers were reportedly killed by gunmen during an attack along the Imbodo-Alu axis of Obrikori Road. The incident reportedly occurred at about 9 p.m. on Monday, while the officers were carrying out a routine stop and search operation at a security checkpoint. A viral video circulating on social media shows the lifeless bodies of the officers, still dressed in their uniforms, lying in pools of blood at the scene. Our correspondent who visited the area reports that the motive for the attack remains unclear, even as residents and business owners decline to comment on the incident. Away from Rivers State, at least 37 children are still missing after an attack on Government Day Secondary School in Lassa Askira Uba, local government area of Borno State. Some parents told newsmen that their children were not among 10 persons rescued by the security forces on Monday. Meanwhile, Acting Military Information Officer, Northeast Joint Task Force, Operation Hadim Kai, Captain Mohammed Goni said 2 security operatives, including a soldier and a member of the Civilian Joint Task Force, were killed during the rescue operation in Dagu. Recalls that terrorists attacked the school at about 9 a.m. while candidates were writing the National Examination Council examination, killing 2 teachers and kidnapping tens of students. Elsewhere, a 12-hour rain yesterday shut down commercial and social activities in Lagos State, submerging properties and roads in Nigeria's former capital. The downpour, which started on Sunday, left motorists and commuters stranded across the metropolis, while residents had to bail out storm water from their homes to stay safe. Meanwhile, some parents and guardians prevented their children and wards from going to school due to the severity of the downpour and possible safety risks. Some of the heavily flooded areas include Lagos-Oshodi Expressway, Abeokuta Expressway, by Oshodi Bus Stop, Lekki-Epe Expressway and Environs, Lagos Island and Lagos Mainland, as well as Victoria Island. In other news, activist and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress (AAC), Omoyele Sowore, says being in prison will not break his decision to fight for justice in Nigeria. In a post on his X account after his release from Kuje prison, Sowore emphasized his resolve to continue his struggle for justice. Earlier, a federal high court in Abuja granted 200 million naira bail to Sowore with 2 sureties, one of whom must be a traditional ruler from his community, while the other must own landed property within Abuja. The judge also ordered Sowore to deposit his international passport with the court registrar as part of the bail conditions, pending the determination of the case. Elsewhere, the federal government says it will seek compensation for Nigerians from its South African counterparts after they were forced to abandon businesses and other valuable properties to return home. The acting Nigerian High Commissioner to South Africa, Temitope Ajayi, said the government had already begun compiling records of businesses and properties left behind by returnees. This followed renewed anti-immigrant and xenophobic tensions in the South African country. This came as 269 more Nigerians arrived Lagos in the third government evacuation flight, making it a total number of 603 evacuees. You're still listening to the news at noon on Wave 91.7 Port Harcourt. Up next is foreign, business, and other reports. Please stay with us.